Welcome everyone to this reading. We have 4 options numbered from left to right, which you can see in front of you. And we're going to be finding out what are the surprising things that people find attractive about you. And when I say surprising, I just mean maybe these are things that you don't even like about yourself. And so it would be surprising to you that other people would find them attractive. It also could just be things that have just never occurred to you. And I think if it is something that you do find attractive, it could be like you'd be surprised how intensely attractive this quality is in you. Now you can watch this just in general and just, what people generally find attractive, or if you have a specific person in mind, you can think of that person and choose a pile, and this would be indicating what that specific person finds attractive about you. All right, so go ahead and set your intention for how you want to receive the reading, whether it's generally or about a specific person and how they view you. And then go ahead and choose your option. There are timestamps in the description box below, so go ahead and choose your timestamp when you're ready, and I'll see you at your reading. Hello to everyone who chose option number 1. As you can see, only the wrapper remains of your chocolate. But I am getting something for you guys, and that's why I ate the chocolate, is so I could connect with my intuition better, of course. But I am getting, first of all, that your voice and your gentleness are 2 qualities that people find very attractive. So that could be your speaking voice. If you're a singer, maybe it's your singing voice. Or it could be your voice in terms of like just what you say, what you're communicating or how you communicate it. So it could be any and all of the above. And also your gentleness. So you just come across as a very gentle soul, very kind person. I'm going to be using a few decks. The first one I'm using is the Tarot of the Cat People. Let's see. And actually the first card that I want to get for you guys, I just looked over and saw it, I forgot. It's from this Oracle of the Mermaids deck. So what are surprising things that people find attractive about group 1? Okay, you're definitely very sensitive. I think that goes back to your gentleness. People see you as someone who, again, with all this blue energy and back to your voice and your throat, like maybe the way that you communicate, it's like you allow the heaviness in your soul to lift through your voice. So some of you definitely could be singers, or you just, maybe you talk about difficult emotions that you've had, but it's obvious to people that you are able to uplift yourself out of those heavy emotions through this vocal expression. So like I said, it could be singing or speaking or whatever, or maybe even writing. But yeah, I feel like it makes people happy. Like whatever this is that you're doing with your voice, it definitely makes people happy. That's the first thing that I'm getting. It's not just that it's attractive, but it makes people happy, I guess. And people feel, again, to me the 6 of Pentacles is a card of kindness. It's generosity, but that sort of generosity can be expressed in multiple ways. And I feel especially coming up here, it's like people, I feel like people see that, your emotions are not always very easy for you because you come across as very emotionally sensitive. And yet, you are able to give so much of yourself emotionally in a way that helps other people I feel like it helps other people to also be relieved of their own sadness or heavy emotions, I feel like people really appreciate your perspective on your emotions, or the perspectives that you express through your communication. They feel like you have a very unique perspective, or a unique type of expression. You express yourself, or what you say, or how you express it is a different quality than other people. So if you were a singer, for example, your singing voice would have some very unique quality. If you're someone who speaks and shares your ideas and perspectives, your perspectives are very different, but people find that very attractive. I do feel like people view you as being more of a feminine person, regardless of how you identify your gender. Like, people see you as having feminine qualities, and they like that as well. Feminine in the sense that you're very in touch with your emotions. You don't seem to need to hold back when it comes to expressing your emotions. It's almost like you're very proud of the fact that you are this emotional person. Like, you wear it like in a very royal kind of a way. You're like, my sensitive emotions do not make me less. They make me, it's almost like royal or regal. It's the energy that you carry with you is a very regal energy. I'm proud of being a sensitive person, is the energy that you're putting off. I'm proud of being someone who can openly express my emotions. Yeah, this is very, very like feminine, nurturing energy. Again, with that gentleness, we have the Queen of Cups and the Empress. These are like mother cards. So, you may or may not be a mother. Maybe you're a father even. But like, you come across with this very... or maybe you're not a parent at all, but like, you come across as someone who would be very nurturing and loving and sort of emotionally protective. People feel emotionally very safe with you because you are in touch with your emotions, but you're in touch with your emotions in a safe way. Your emotions are not getting the best of you. You have control of your emotions and you know how to express them, which I feel like people view that as you being an example to others, but also it benefits others. So there's just a lot to it that people really, really enjoy. I think that you have a very profound connection to your emotions. I know the emotions keep coming up, but like, clearly you seem like a very emotional person. That's what I just get. And I feel like the way that you carry your emotions or express them, it changes people's lives. I feel like, you're also probably yourself a very transformative person, someone who wants to transform. You don't always want to stay the same. You see the benefit in, going through the death and rebirth process, letting qualities about yourself that you don't find appealing anymore, you try to let go of those and release those qualities or old ways of being so that you can step into a better, more evolved way of being. So definitely people find that to be very attractive. With the Death card coming up next to the Hanged Man card, I also just feel like profound. Like, people just feel like you're very profound. Like, I don't know why I'm hearing the phrase soul chilling. Soul chilling. I think that it means that like it touches people to the core of their soul. I wouldn't think it's a negative thing, but like, I feel also people admire your work ethic or your dedication to your work, whatever it is you do for work. But what I'm also getting with the Knight of Pentacles is you're very service oriented, so people find that to be very attractive. But yeah, people see that you're very dedicated to like evolving and like refining yourself. People see that you're dedicated to that, again, like going through death and rebirth processes and just like evolving into a better and better version of yourself. I feel like you've had some significant successes or victories in your life, so people definitely find that attractive as well. I think people are, like, they don't know how you do it, you know? Like, how did you achieve these victories? How did you do this? They feel like you have some sort of secret, like, what's your secret? They want to know, what is your secret? What is your secret to success? Because I feel like people are very inspired by what you have achieved in your life and attracted to that. But I feel like they're like, well, I want to achieve in the way that Pa One has achieved. How do I do that? I feel like you just kind of put one foot in front of the other. I mean, people do see this. It's definitely, they see you as a hard worker, so it's not like they feel like you lucked into it or anything like that. But yeah, I feel like it definitely, you are inspiring people to try to do more, maybe with their own lives. I feel as well, people feel that you're very driven, and maybe that's why you've been successful. But I also get with this, like, you're very straightforward when you speak. You do not hold back, but people feel that you have some sort of, you're speaking from a place of knowledge. You're speaking from a place of, you have some sort of insight. People feel like you're very insightful, that you see and understand things very clearly, and because of that, you speak forcefully. You don't hold back. Probably you don't edit yourself too much. You just feel like, well, I know what I need to say and I'm going to say it, or I know what I need to express, so I'm going to express it. You may regret it sometimes. Maybe you regret it afterwards. You're like, well, I spoke too quickly or I spoke too soon. But I don't... I mean, if you're asking generally people do find this attractive, that you do kind of like speak your mind and don't hold back. Or if it's a specific person, this specific person likes that about you. So I feel that, I feel like, this is actually more welcome than you would realize. Because I'm getting here, we have the Queen of Cups again, but here I feel like this is the energy that people are directing towards you when it comes to this. Like, I feel like it sort of touches people's hearts. Like, they might see that you do express yourself very freely, and then maybe it seems like you've regretted it afterwards, or it could even cause problems for you with certain people. But I feel like there are also people out there who like, they have a soft spot for you when it comes to this, because they're like, yeah, but I agree with what you're saying. Or at the very least, I agree with you being so open and honest. You're definitely not lukewarm. in the way that you express yourself. So I feel like people appreciate that. Sometimes maybe because they agree and they're like, well, thank goodness someone's finally saying that. And sometimes it could just be that they're like, I appreciate that I know where I stand with you, or I appreciate that I know where you stand on a particular topic. But if it does ever cause problems for you, like with other people, there are people out there who really like feel for you. You know, they feel a lot of empathy. Because I feel like people are seeing you as self-sacrificing. You're willing to sort of take one for the team sometimes to like express things that maybe not everyone is gonna be open to hearing. Let's see what else we got here. It always takes that type of person, you know, like sometimes someone just has to rock the boat. I have the Knight of Pentacles coming up a second time. So definitely people feel that you're very hardworking. I'm also seeing that, you know, people do see that it burdens you sometimes, that you have these things that you want to express, but sometimes it gets you into trouble when you do express it because, yeah, it's like, maybe you feel when you're expressing these things, maybe you just assume that other people are going to agree with you more than they do. And then when you say them, you're like, oh, people's reactions make it clear that there are a lot of people who don't. And, you know, that I think that's when you start to feel the Ten of Swords energy, which is this kind of sorrow, or, oh, maybe I was too melodramatic, or maybe I shouldn't have said that, but now it's out there, I can't really take it back. But, yeah, like people see that does create problems for you, but, like, you deal with the problems, you know? Like, so if problems come about from you being very rash in your communication, you handle it, you know, you don't try to avoid it. Yeah, again, like, I just feel like there's a lot of love and a lot of compassion and understanding that is directed towards you as it comes to this. And the way that you handle these types of situations as well, I feel like gets a lot of admiration also. And, let's see. What else do we want to do? Samaritan, yeah. So refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So yeah, again, that kind of repeats that very first card we got with the Six of Pentacles. This is like a Good Samaritan type card as well. People definitely feel that you're that type of person who likes to help. And maybe one of the ways you do that is by speaking out on behalf of people who need to be supported or helped. Yeah, you're very selfless. You're very devoted. I would say, again, like we saw before, like I think I said that you seemed like a person of service. You could also be someone who's very dedicated to your spirituality, and that is definitely also very attractive. Yeah, visionary, like we said before. This is a lot of like confirming things that we've already seen, like you approach things differently in some way. It's either your perspective, the way you express yourself, or maybe both of those, but like you kind of see beyond what other people are able to see. And you do it selflessly, without regard for personal gain. So definitely this is a very attractive quality. Aw. Yeah, I mean, I think that, you know, a lot of people would like to be your romantic partner, or, you know, they definitely see you as someone who would be like a really excellent romantic partner. They feel like you're someone who would really appreciate your partner. Maybe they see you as, because you're so emotionally expressive, they see you as someone who would probably be very romantic. So people definitely find that to be very attractive. There we go. And then Don 1. So yeah, I mean, definitely like people are attracted to you because you're like a romantic. Or they feel like you would be, or something like that. Like, yeah, lots of people want to be with you in a romantic relationship. And this is like romantic dreamy. This isn't like people are just wanting to like get down and, like down and dirty. Like, this is very romantic. And again, maybe it is because you are yourself like a very romantic person. I feel as well like people feel like they have a lot to learn from you. And yeah, like I said before, it's like people really desire, or that people are really attracted to the way that you express romantic love, because there's something that seems so pure about you, not just in the way that you express your romantic feelings, but like, I think just overall in general. We had gentleness that came up even before I pulled any cards, gentleness and sweetness. And this kind of goes along with this. People feel that you would always be gentle with them. I think that also people are attracted to the idea that they don't know everything about you. So you have a little bit of an air of mystery. And I also feel with the detective, people are observing you a lot more than you think. People are really paying a lot of attention to you, more than you think. So that's what I'm getting for everyone who chose option number 1. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Welcome to everyone who chose option number 2. As you can see, I've already partaken in your chocolate, but only because it helps me to get in touch with my intuition. That is the only reason. I just really took one for the team. But when I was getting in touch with my intuition for you guys, what I get, first of all, is that you all have an aura that is very attractive. So even if people don't believe in auras, or if they can't see them, I mean, it's rare for someone to be able to see an aura. You just have a sort of presence where people can just kind of tell, like your energy, like you put out good vibrations, people can just kind of sense like, wow, this is like a really excellent person. So that's what I'm just getting intuitively. Without pulling any cards, but let's see what else we get. What do people find attractive? Yeah, I feel like people are just very receptive to your energy. I do feel like you probably have the color gold in your aura, which is a very high vibrational color to have. It is a color of someone who has achieved a lot of tremendous spiritual mastery. So you have a lot to offer in terms of like spiritual teaching or spiritual leadership. Even if you're not doing that in an sort of a way, like your way of being rubs off on people. People are like, wow, pile 2 is like a really excellent person. Excuse me. Okay, sorry if you are hearing my throat gurgling. But anyway, yeah, you just inspire people to be like a good person because you give off good person energy and people love being around that. You kind of uplift other people more so into that. You just are imbued with this very, I don't like godly, or like just you're a good person. And people can very much see that. Yeah, you come across as very trustworthy. People feel that you are definitely someone that they can learn from. People learn a lot from you, I feel. And I would say I feel that that people feel very emotionally safe with you. Okay, so let's see what else we're getting. I kind of feel like the way that you communicate makes people feel a little bit intimidated. I'm getting that, but it's not negative. Like, people do find it attractive that you're so capable at expressing yourself. I feel like that's why my throat is gurgling. It's because people are like, oh, I can't express myself as clearly as Pile 2 can, but they find it very attractive. I would say you explain things very well, which is why you're a very good teacher. Oh yeah, you're like an expert at explaining things. So definitely people find you like formidable when it comes to that, but it's in an admirable way. Like, sometimes when people are sort of jealous of a quality that someone has, it can come out not as they're attracted to the person, but that it's sort of like they don't like the person because they're jealous. I don't feel like this is what it is. It's like, yeah, people want to have more of that quality of being able to articulate themselves or explain things or teach things so well the way that you do. But it's not in a mean way. It's like people find it attractive. Let's see. I feel like a lot of people would love to sort of align themselves with you because of this strength of your communication style. Yeah, because you're come across as a very happy person as well. People do feel, like I said, emotionally safe with you. So I feel like a lot of people feel like you will let them into your energy. And I think you may not realize the degree to which that makes people feel really special. Because you're just probably so open to doing that. But when you do, it just makes people feel extremely special. There's a term in astrology called, I think it's called Cazimi, Cazimi. And it means like, what is it? It's like something of the king, like being in the presence of the king. And that's what this is reminding me of. Like, it's a very beneficial placement astrologically because it's rare. People feel like it's so, the idea that they would be allowed to have such close proximity to you when you are such a powerfully positive and bright, shining, golden person makes them feel that somehow they have achieved some sort of like super luck. It's like, whoa, how did I possibly, how was I possibly allowed into this person's sphere of influence to have so much close proximity to them? Whoops. Oh my gosh, my cards are going everywhere. Yeah, I feel like I would even feel nervous to be around you guys. Not because you're like you're not trying to be intimidating. I feel like people are just really impressed with you. And they want to impress you. People want to be impressive to you. I think a lot of people hide the degree to which they're impressed by you because, I don't know, like, maybe it's, I don't know, but maybe they just feel a little bit shy about it, so they don't want you to know that they have this level of attraction or admiration. Some people even feel like if you knew that they found you to be so attractive, that you would not like it. So it's like, some people are like, oh, I don't want to burden Pile 2 by letting them letting on that I find them attractive. Or even people, if they're not even finding you romantically attractive, like if it's just that they have a lot of admiration for you, it's the same thing. Like, oh, I don't want to let it show too much because maybe this person will be burdened by it or bothered by it somehow. I feel like probably you're just more interested in other things. You don't really... I mean, I feel like you are someone who is like always trying to improve yourself. And because you're so focused on your own race in life, you're not really paying attention to the fact that other people might be jealous of you anyway. You know, it's like what they say when you're running a race, you shouldn't look at the other runners. That's exactly what you're doing. You're not looking at the other runners. So you're like mostly not even aware that other people would view you as someone that they want to compete with in any way. Or that people would have this view of you as someone who has some sort of skill or something that puts you at a competitive advantage to them. So I think people are attracted to that as well. Like you do come across as like a very humble person. You're very magnificent, but you don't recognize your magnificence, and that makes you even the more so. I feel as well like you're very generous with your admiration of others, so you make a lot of people feel very special. I think that you're someone as well who has figured out how not to be dragged down by other people's difficulties or problems, or, you know, it's like you've come to a place of self-respect where, you know, you have a lot of compassion and people feel very emotionally safe with you, which I saw before. But it's like I think you're aware of other people's sadness, and maybe people do try to lean on you a little bit with their problems. I think that people notice that you've learned how to not be dragged down by this anymore. You know, maybe in the past you had weaker boundaries, but I feel that you have strong boundaries now, or maybe you've always had strong boundaries. In any case, I think people respect that as well. They find that to be a very wonderful quality, that you have strong boundaries when it comes to people kind of like draining your energy. I think people learn from your example there as well. Let's see. I feel like you're the type of person who likes to give people a chance, though. It's not like you don't come across as any type of snobby, but you do have firm boundaries. Like if you can tell, like, you know, this person is gonna like try to take all my time or take all my energy, you're like, I'm only gonna give them a little bit, if that. But I think for the most part, you do like to give people a chance. You're not, and people really appreciate it when you do give them a chance. It really helps people feel a sense of self-worth themselves. Yeah, I really don't think that you recognize the degree to which people really look up to you. Let's see what else we can get for you guys. All right, what are the surprising, attractive qualities? You seem very peaceful, very, very peaceful, very serene. You know, it's like you do have some sort of competitive advantage, but you don't come across as competitive. Like you're not really trying to compete with anyone, but you're still kind of winning. You're winning, but you're not really trying to. You're like just out here like living your life. Maybe you're trying to compete against yourself or improve yourself. Yeah, I feel like, in fact, you are definitely trying to compete against yourself. I feel like you're never satisfied with good enough, but not in a way where it's like you have low self-worth. It's just like you love yourself enough to always be trying to improve, get better and better. And because of that, you're very magnificent. You're very magnificent, and people do see that very much and have a lot of admiration for it. I also feel like people find it attractive that you can be so peaceful and serene. For some of you, maybe in the past you didn't come across that way. In the past, maybe you came across as someone who had a lot of anxiety and or depression, and it seems like you've really turned that around. So people are definitely extremely impressed. They feel that you must have put a lot of energy into that. Like that didn't happen by accident. So people really admire that very much. I also feel like people do feel like you're an open book. Not to the point where it is self-destructive, but like you're pretty open with people, about, you like to communicate in a very positive way. I think you like to put a positive spin on it, but you will talk about maybe your own struggles with certain things. But the goal of it seems obvious to people that the goal of it, when you do this, is to help other people have a more positive experience. It's like you're sharing your own experiences with difficult things that you've gone through, but it's for the purpose of uplifting other people. And people definitely do feel uplifted by that. And I think that's also why they feel so emotionally safe with you. Let's see what else. Yeah, people feel that you, I feel that they see you as very wise. Very perceptive, I feel. Perceptive, but you don't get cocky about it. You're not cocky, you're not arrogant. But what I'm drawn to most here on the High Priestess card is this huge book she has. Like, I feel like people, and then she has an apple. So it's like you do have like a very teacherly quality to you, where it's like you just know a lot of things. People feel like you really know a lot of things, and you're able to express it in a way that's very motivational and inspiring. Yeah, I feel like people feel like they're probably never going to be at your level, but they don't necessarily view it as a negative thing. They feel like they have so much happiness for you because I feel like they see that you found a place of joy for yourself, and they're so happy that you found that because, like I said, I think some people are seeing that you, in the past, you just didn't have that level of happiness. Yeah, I feel like people feel like in the past you lacked self-love, and you might have even allowed certain people in your life that were sort of beneath you, or I don't know, it's like definitely people feel that in the past you came across as more depressed in the way that you talked. I mean, you were open about kind of like the depressive experiences you had or something, but and people, it wasn't off-putting when you did that, but you found a place of joy now. That's how people are seeing you, and they're very happy for you. But they also think, wow, I don't think I'll ever find that place of joy, but maybe I will. I mean, they are inspired by it. What is it that people feel they'll never experience? It's that sun quality. You have some sort of I would say you have some sort of star quality here with the sun and the star together. These are both obviously stars. You have star quality, and not everyone has that. So it isn't just the happiness. Maybe they do feel like they could have the happiness, or you could inspire them to just live a good life. But I think the thing that they feel like maybe they wouldn't have is just some sort of star quality or charisma, something like that. But you had to work hard to get that. Vita Nova, I think that means new life. I don't know. But like, you had to find your way to that. It didn't just fall into your lap. But either way, like, yeah, people feel like it's definitely something special that you have. And they're happy that you have this. People are very happy. Okay, any other surprising things? Let's see. Why is this reversed? I think also, like, people view you as someone who's kind of always moving ahead. You're not really moving backward. You know, once you've decided that a certain situation or mindset or way of life, that you're done with it, then you're kind of done with it. Not in a cruel way, but you don't really look back. You're always like slow and steady moving forward. So if you have been able to improve yourself and gotten yourself out of some sort of depression or anxiety or just a difficult place in your life, people definitely feel like you are not going to ever go back to that difficult place. And they find this to be very admirable or attractive as well. Okay, I'm just going to finally pull from this deck here. Yeah, you're very pure. This came up for number 1 as well. And actually, some of the stuff about communication, it was a little bit different. I mean, the feeling of number 1 overall seemed different, but if you felt drawn to number 1, there could be some messages there for you as well, because there are some crossovers. But yeah, people feel that you're very pure. I think also people sense that you probably had certain difficulties in your childhood. And even though you are open about certain things, you don't share all of it. And it's out of this place of like, you know, maybe it's in your best interest not to really reveal everything, because not everything is everybody's business necessarily. But I feel like people do sense this, and they feel somehow, I don't know, that you have yeah, I don't know. I just feel like people do have an intuition that something more happened to you in your life than what you're totally expressing. They just can kind of intuitively sense it. But they feel like you're such a pure person. So, like, if someone hurt you in your life, I feel like definitely people are viewing you as, wow, you really didn't deserve that. Oh yeah, definitely people are definitely suspecting that something very difficult happened to you, perhaps in your childhood. You know, people might feel that you experienced child abuse or neglect, and they're just like, wow, you're such a pure heart, like you didn't deserve that. So maybe you would be surprised to see that people can pick up on that. Yeah, I mean, we have the victim card. People definitely feel that probably something very negative has happened to you in your life, and that they see that you have like kind of done a lot of healing there, and maybe have like reclaimed a certain sort of childhood innocence that, you know, shouldn't have ever been taken from you anyway. Definitely nobody's judging you for this. So I feel like for some of your guys just wanted to point that out. It's just that they're picking up on it. Like they might be judging whoever hurt you, but they feel I feel like there's a lot of love being expressed towards you about this. Because I feel like, maybe not everyone has this level of intuition that they can pick up on this, but the people who do, they're like, it's hard to heal from that type of thing. And some people never do. Some people never even take the journey that they need to take to do that. So, yeah, I feel like you are teaching people how to take that journey of healing from those difficult kind of traumatic things, even if you aren't talking about them in detail. Or maybe you're not talking about them at all, but in any case, like, you're sort of leading by example because people are picking up on this in an intuitive way. All right, number 2, folks, that's what I'm getting for you. People really, really respect you a lot and really admire you a lot. So I want to thank you so much for watching, and I wish you all the best, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Welcome to everyone who chose option number 3, this red chocolate here. So we're going to be seeing, like, what are the surprising things that people find attractive about you, but what I'm getting about you guys is that you actually have a pretty healthy self-confidence. So I think that, and a good self-awareness. So I feel like most of what, we're going to be picking up here is stuff that wouldn't really surprise you, because I think you're already pretty aware that you are a very well-liked person, and you do have an awareness of what your wonderful qualities are. So that is great, but it might still be nice to hear a little bit of a confirmation or a reminder of what is so wonderful about you. Okay, so we get concomancy. Let's see. The return of Aphrodite. I think that there is something about you where, like, you can communicate a lot without even speaking sometimes. Like, you can just look at someone in a certain way and they can kind of understand what it is you're thinking. You can convey that. So let's say, like, you're out with your friend and there are a group of other people around and you want to let them know that you think a certain thing about what's going on. Like, I don't like this situation or something, but maybe it's something you can't say out loud. But you can just look at your friend and your friend will know. It's that type of thing. So I'm getting that energy here. People will appreciate that. They feel that you're in a sort of feminine power in this way. That you can communicate when you're not satisfied or not happy with certain things. And you can do it in a way that is not aggressive. I wouldn't say it's passive exactly, because you're not coming across as any type of doormat or anything like that. But it's just, you can say it in a more peaceful way, I guess. So people like that about you. I think that you are also seen as someone who can take time out for yourself. When you need to, you're not afraid to put yourself first. And again, we have that self-awareness. So people really appreciate your self-awareness. You know what you need in order to feel good, in order to sort of stay healthy. And you're certainly not afraid to give yourself, what it is that you need, whether it's just time by yourself or time away from certain people or situations. You put yourself first, and people like that about you. I feel like there's a lot of respect. Let's see what else. Maybe these will be surprising traits, actually, because I was getting before I sat down that you guys are more of like an extroverted type. So it could be surprising that sometimes you are a little bit more withdrawn, and people find it attractive when you put yourself first in that way. Like maybe you're someone who does always, you do spend a lot of time with people, but then when a particular person calls you up and wants to spend time with you, you're not always available. It could be that. You're not always available to everyone all the time. But I feel like that's part of why people like you, because you're just not always available. So when they do get to spend time with you, it makes it more precious. Yeah, we'll get the Sun card. So definitely I feel like people like being associated with you because it makes them look good. And I don't think that this is in a negative, egotistical way. I mean, it might be for some of the people that you attract into your world, but I don't think for most of them, because I think you have enough pride in yourself that you would see that. Like if someone was just hanging around you for what they could get out of it, you would not have time for that person. So I think the people that you do spend time with are people who deserve that time. And it is people who you see as well as like, well, this is my equal. This person deserves my time and energy. They deserve to be able to stand in my light, and vice versa. So people know if you let them into your circle, that makes them feel very special because they know that that is a special place to be. Let's see. I think that people see you as well as very organized. I feel like you might have an office or something where you retreat to, or just a particular place where you go off to study or do, I don't know, office-y type things. I'm getting like, just taking care of business. You're someone who takes care of business. I feel like overall this isn't like your priority in life. You don't necessarily always want to be tucked away in an office, because this is the Page of Pentacles. This is not where you always want to be. But when you're in that place getting work done, you get it done. And you're very good at it. You come across to people as very organized. And you know how to cross your T's and dot your I's, and in terms of like, getting paperwork done. Yeah, so maybe that would be a surprising thing for people to find attractive, but they do. Because you don't have to rely on other people to do those types of things for you. Like maybe when it's time to do your taxes, you're smart enough to know how to do your taxes yourself. It's something like that. So people respect that about you. I think that, you do have a very cheerful, happy personality. So it's not like when you're in social company, it's not like you're talking about doing your taxes, because you wouldn't want to bore people about that. But like people know that you're taking care. You're taking care of business in that sense, taking care of those office type activities that you need to get done. Like managing your home, managing your financial affairs. And you don't really feel a need to tell everyone about it, but people know, and they're like, I feel like they're sort of like, how it almost seems a little bit like magical, because it's like, how does pile 3 get all of that done? Because they're also out here being this like social center of attention and drawing so much, such a magnetic personality. So they're like, what is your secret? How do you do it all? Yeah, and I think it is, you do juggle a bit, but you manage it. And other people, I think this is what it is. Other people are like, I wouldn't be able to manage all of that. Like you're managing so many different things and still maintaining this equilibrium. Like it's not difficult at all. Yeah, people are really looking up to that. I feel like a lot of people kind of want to be like you in that sense. Like, yeah, let me be that person who's like totally managing my life, managing and juggling all of these different things, but like not dropping one ball. And still having plenty of time for fun and games. Yeah, people are really just like, how in the world do you do it? Other people would be like, if I was like working and managing and juggling all these different things and still having time to come out here and socialize and have fun, I would just be tired. So I think also people admire you for being a very active person in terms of your life. You're kind of like, it seems like you never run out of energy. Yeah, you're doing so much, and yet you just never seem at a loss for energy. Let's see what else. Seek surprising things. I think people also see you as very adventurous. You're always up to do new things. Sometimes you're interested in doing things that are way more surprise. I mean, it's like you are still surprising people. They're like, I knew that you were adventurous, but I didn't even know that you would be ready to do that. Like you really still manage to surprise people, even though they know that you're kind of up for anything. You still sometimes will be ready to do something that they still didn't expect. I think also you're not afraid of hurting someone's feelings either, because you're just kind of like, I need to live my life the way that I want to live it. And if I do something that is shocking or surprising in terms of my lifestyle choices or something that I just need to do because it fulfills my need for adventure and excitement, if I'm not hurting anyone just by being myself and you happen to be hurt by it, those are your emotions. So you're not feeling obligated to feel bad simply by being yourself and being who you are. Although I think you are aware that sometimes it does bother people. You're just like, that's on you, not on me. But a lot of people are attracted to that quality in you, that you don't take on other people's objections, to your lifestyle choices. You're just like, out here living your best life. And, you like, listen, if you don't like what I'm doing, go live your own best life, So I feel like you have a lot of respect for that. Let's see what else. Surprising things that are attractive about pile 3. Sometimes you will turn down. I mean, we kind of got this before. You seem like a social person, or at least this is what I'm getting. But sometimes you will turn down certain social events just because you know that you're not going to enjoy it. You're like, I know I'm not going to enjoy that social event. Even though I like socializing, I'm not going to like that particular social event. You don't have a problem saying no. And you know that may hurt someone's feelings too. I mean, you're aware of it, but it's like you don't take that on so much. You're like, it's not really my problem if it hurts you so bad that I don't want to come to this thing that I know that I'm not going to enjoy. You do have a lot of people wanting your time and attention. A lot of people view you like family, even if they're not actually your family. And they feel a sense of pride in that. Again, you have a lot of people like just wanting to be in your circle, and you're kind of aware of that. And so I think because you're aware of that, you realize I don't have to lower myself and go be involved at social events that I don't want to be at, because it's not like you have any lack of people who want to be like friends and family to you. So you're like, why should I waste my time? It seems like you're a very busy person. You've got a lot going on. So you're just like, why do I need to waste my time spending time with someone when I know it's not going to be pleasant. Probably sometimes you might think it's not going to be pleasant for me or you, but at the same time, you're like, why do you want me to be here when neither of us are going to enjoy it? Just because you want to be in my inner circle, for what reason? These are interesting things that are coming up here. The High Priestess coming up again. These are both repetitive cards. I mean, sometimes people are not really sure what to make of you, because you make your own decisions about things. It's like you have a knack for knowing what the right decision is, even if it isn't the decision that most people would make. So you really keep people guessing. People are like, how do you know where to put your time and energy for best use? Because you seem to always know where the best place is to put it. You know what's going to make you happiest in terms of where to place your energy. And there are a lot of demands on your time and energy. You do make people feel very loved. When people are invited into your circle and they get that time with you, it really makes people feel extremely special. Let's see. But I do feel there's a sense that people kind of like to compete for your attention as well. There's like people really like to compete for your attention. And I don't think you're trying to make anyone compete for your attention, but people do this. What does this mean about why you're attractive? I feel like you notice it. You notice that people are competing for who's going to be my best friend or who's going to get the most attention from me. You notice that people are competing for that. And I think what people like about you is that you don't mention it, because if you mention it, that in and of itself might be more hurtful. Not sure if I'm articulating this correctly. I mean, I don't think you're trying to play favorites or anything like that. You might have people who you're like, well, today I'm pretty sure I'm going to enjoy spending time with person X more than person Y. But it isn't because it's not because I'm playing favorites. It's just I know what the energy is today. The energy between me and person X today is going to be a lot better than me and the energy with person Y. I'm not trying to hurt person Y's feelings. I'm aware that their feelings might be hurt, but this is just how it is today. On a different day, it might be person Y that you feel like you're going to have the more enjoyable time with. But you're not going to bring it up. You're not going to be hanging out with person X and be like, oh my God, you know what? Person Y, they're so jealous that I'm hanging out with you today. Or you're not, you're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings or play favorites. So I feel like people are aware of that. And they do like that about you. Let's see what else we get here. What would pile 3 be surprised to know? I feel like maybe you look good in the color red as well. I am getting that. Or maybe just like kind of bright colors in general. Again, because I feel like you naturally do attract a lot of attention. People are looking at you and seeking out time with you a lot anyway. So I feel like bold colors, bold noticeable colors probably look good on you. Yes. Also, people think that you are impartial. You are fair. You do try to see all sides of a situation, and you might have, because you have so many people competing for your time and people who are actually try to outdo each other in order to get time with you. It's like you take a very fair and balanced approach to all of that, and people do feel that you are fair and balanced, Yeah, people feel like you're not going to take on someone else's hurt feelings if it's not if it's not your fault, you know, they might be hurt because you're doing X, Y, or Z, but you're like, listen, it's your choice to feel that way. I didn't intend to hurt you. I didn't do anything hurtful to you. I'm just living my life. But it's not that you don't care. You're just like, I need to stay in a place of love for myself. I need to put myself first. So people feel that you are very loving and fair to yourself as well as others. Yeah, I mean, you just like, people just love being around you. I don't know what else to say. And sometimes you don't love it as much, you know. It's like, and I think going back to what we said before, like those are those times when you're just like, yeah, I think maybe today I'm just going to take a little break for myself. Yeah, because I feel like you don't really want to waste a lot of energy being around people who are being like glum or negative. That's difficult for you to be around. And I feel like you respect yourself enough to say, or maybe if you're in a bad mood, you're also like, I don't want to make anyone else have a bad day because I am. So I'm just going to kind of seclude myself a little bit today, cocoon myself. Yeah, so people really, you're very careful about, you know, how you give your own time and energy away to others who are kind of in a negative mood, you know, refusing to put yourself into situations where you have to be around people when they're like that. But also when you're in that kind of negative, gloomy mood, you try not to, you know, put that on other people. So it's very fair, good boundaries in terms of all that. Let's see what else we've got here. And feeling like good hostess energies as well, like when you have people into your home. Liberator. Yeah, I feel like with Liberator and Hedonist, again, because I was getting something about being a good hostess, you make people feel comfortable to sort of indulge. You know, it's not like you're trying to convince someone to do something that's bad for them, but it's sort of like, come on, let loose. You know, if you want a piece of cake, like, you don't have to pretend that you don't want this cake. If you don't want it, it's fine, but, you know, you don't have to pretend in front of me, you know. The cake is here. If you want to eat this cake, because I made it, and I'm going to eat some, so you make people feel comfortable to like indulge in things like, you know, a piece of cake or a martini or whatever it is. Let's see. People feel like you take good care of your physical body as well. Let's see. And yeah, you take good care of your physical body, and I feel like part of the reason you do that is, again, because you are mindful of the impact you have on other people. You're like, you don't want, you know, because you have so many people around you. I feel like, for example, if you ever had a period where your health wasn't good, there would be a lot of people who would be more than glad to help you out, but you know, you have consideration for people's feelings and you don't want to put people in that situation. So I feel like when you're taking care of your own health, a lot of it is really stemming from this fact that you don't want to be a burden to other people. So I guess people have some sort of awareness of this, that you're putting your health first. And it is from a place of self-love and self-care, but it is also, a lot of it is because you're really considerate about other people. And you don't want to, you know, you don't want to have to impose upon them. Let's see. Yeah, you don't, you're definitely not someone to play the victim. Okay. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. I'm going to get a fortune cookie for you guys. So this might be a little bit loud when I'm opening it if you're on headphones. Many will travel to hear you speak. So there you go. I mean, people just love to visit you, I would say. Yeah, people, I mean, I feel like people love to talk to you. I just see people like traveling to be socially involved with you a lot. All right, so I really hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Welcome to everyone who chose option number 4. Let's see, what are the surprising reasons that people are attracted to you? I'm getting like intelligence right off the bat. Intelligence, but also like humility. I feel like people do view you as compassionate, but it's not in a like gushy, over the top like compassion, but just people feel serene in your presence. So people, it's a kindness. It's sort of a quiet kindness, I would say. I feel like you're a very self-contained person. You don't really need a lot of other people. You don't really need to rely on a lot of people a lot. I feel like people know that that you have good boundaries, so they're not going to be able to you're very, how would I say this? You're just very self-reliant. People really respect that. You're very kind towards other people, but they also know not to expect you to overstretch yourself for them. But you exude a kindness, but it's a kindness with these boundaries of, I don't know if I'm putting it into words correctly. I feel like you soothe people in your presence and your words. You can communicate well to people. It's like, maybe you're not like a super huggy, like super affectionate person, but people feel like they can talk to you about anything and you'll be willing to listen and you'll be very understanding. I think that's what it is. Your compassion shows through your ability to be so incredibly understanding of other people. And you can be there for people and support them with your words very strongly. You always know kind of like the right thing to say to make someone feel comforted. But I think it's like, it's not necessarily that you're coming across as super like touchy-feely but you still, you make people feel like this baby would here, like comforted and nurtured, but you do it more so with your words. Hopefully this is making sense. Anyway, people love the way that you can sort of soothe them with the way that you are so understanding. And you're a good listener. You're a good listener, and you don't try to overtake the conversation, especially when someone is talking about something that is difficult for them, and people really appreciate that. But then when you do speak and respond, it's just so wise and comforting. It's, you make people understand that everything will be okay, and people really believe it when you say it. I know a lot of people will say, like, you shouldn't tell people everything will be okay, like it's oversimplifying it or whatever, but it's like, whatever it is you're saying to people, even if you said that, like, it would really be felt. Like, it would really make people feel like, you're right, everything is okay. That's so true, So, like, you do have a very strong way of comforting people with your words. I think it's because people can see that you are someone who, you're definitely not a toxic positivity type person. Like, you're not going to just pretend like everything in your life is peaches and cream, it's like, but you're also not going to like be going on and on and on and on, like playing the victim card either. But like, people can just tell, like, you've had to have a lot of faith in your life in order to get through certain things. Like, there are things in your life where, I feel like you're an incredibly strong person, but life has also really challenged you at certain moments, and you had to kind of like lean back and just accept it, allowing a higher force to take charge for a time. So because people know that you haven't just had like the super easiest life, and somehow you've been able to find a sort of sense of serenity even in your darkest times, when you tell someone it's okay, it'll be okay, or whatever it is you're saying that sort of conveys that comfort, like, people really feel it. It means a lot, because they're like, if you're saying it will be okay, I really believe you. Because I can see what you've been through, or, let's see. I think also, like, when you're friends with someone, or when there's a sense of loyalty with you as well. You might be sort of selective with who you spend time with, but like, people sense loyalty. Like, if you have chosen someone as a friend, they know that you're an incredibly loyal friend. And even if you're not like a friend, like if you're having this type of conversation with someone where they're kind of like telling you about their problems, there is this sense of, you're not going to give me advice that would lead me wrong. That, and some people will do that, which is very weird, I think. But people know that whatever advice you give, it truly is coming from a place of really trying to help that person to endure, trying to help that person to get past whatever challenge that they are facing. So you may be that kind of person that people are just always coming up to and like telling you about their problems. And people appreciate that about you, that it doesn't seem like that much of a burden for you somehow, because you've been through so much more yourself. It's like other people's problems are just, it's not that much of a burden for you to be like, okay, I can see very clearly what's going on here. I can see very clearly what the best course of action or the best mindset or the best perspective would be to help this be an easier situation for you. So people really trust you because what you tell them it really helps. We had just so much loyalty. I feel like there's such an extreme sort of sense of loyalty. People know that if you're their ally, like if you've got their back, you've like really got their back. They know that. They don't doubt it at all. You might be someone who's very good at divination as well. So maybe some of the advice you're giving is advice from like doing tarot or oracle readings or some other form of divination, astrology maybe. And I feel that you give good advice, whether it's from divination or not. But I do feel like you have a sort of prophetic or psychic gift. So people are very attracted to that about you. I feel like you don't get caught up in it too much with the present card. It's making me feel that you try to have a logical approach to it. So if you're someone who does divination, you try to be very balanced. It isn't you're like this is kind of reminding me of myself, the way that I talk about tarot sometimes. It's like you want to look for the real life evidence as well. Don't just let a reading dictate your life. Don't let it be a self-fulfilling prophecy. You have control over your life. But yeah, people feel like you're very centered. I feel like they're viewing you as very centered. We'll get one more card from this deck. Oh, and people find you very physically beautiful, so maybe that's surprising to you. Maybe you wouldn't think that is like a primary quality that people would find attractive, but physically, as well as just your soul, I feel, you're a very graceful person also. Something very graceful about you. Okay, what do people find attractive? I feel like you're also a real go-getter. You're always looking for how to move yourself forward in your life. I feel like you're the type of person who you don't necessarily you weren't really born with like a ton of opportunities. It's not like you were born into a life where you had like a huge head start or anything. So people see that like what you have created or what you are creating for yourself, you really made those opportunities for yourself. Yeah, I feel as well, you're very scrappy, I would say. Like you're very, what's a better way to say this? I feel like you use your hunches, you use that intuition to help guide you to opportunities or how to create opportunities for yourself. You rely on your own instincts. You're very good at relying on your instincts. Maybe you've had to do that. Maybe you've been that person who kind of developed your psychic abilities partly through having been through a lot of difficulties. So now it's like you can kind of see the obstacles coming before they get there, and you can steer yourself away from those icebergs and things like that. So you kind of know how to handle yourself. I would say you have a lot of street smarts. Like you know how to handle a difficult situation. People really respect and admire that. I feel also with the Lovers reversed, you're not that type of person who like needs a relationship. So people are attracted to that as well. I mean, people who are romantically interested in you are attracted in by that because they're like, oh, well, if I did get to have a relationship with Pile 4, then it would be because they really liked me, because it doesn't seem like they're just getting involved with anyone. You're not the type of person who's in a relationship just for the sake of being in one. But I also feel like with the Lovers reversed and the Death, like you are definitely not afraid to cut people out. If you do keep someone in your life, you're very loyal. But it's like, if someone crosses the line too many times, you're like, no, it's over. You're out. It's like you have too much self-respect to put up with that. I don't think it's necessarily an easy decision for you to cut people out. It's not like you're out here like just, what bridge am I going to burn today? It's like, I don't think that you like doing this, but you're also not afraid to do it. And once you've cut someone out, like if you've really cut someone out, you're not going to be looking back too much. You're not going to be, it's like if you made that decision, it's pretty final. Okay, so other surprising things people would be attracted to about you. People feel maybe you're like a world traveler, or you have a sense of worldliness, or you know about other cultures, or you have an interest in global issues, or just people or cultures from other parts of the world. Also, I'm feeling like you're not afraid to get out of your comfort zone. So like you could, for example, travel to a place where it's a very different culture and the people are very different from you, and you would be able to manage that. You wouldn't feel scared of being out of your cultural comfort zone. Or just in general, you're not afraid to get out of your comfort zone. You're not afraid to engage with people who have different viewpoints or perspectives than you. I think, you have sort of like had to find your own opportunities, which I saw before. And through the process of doing that, you have also created some sort of success for yourself. There definitely are haters. You definitely have haters, people who hate on you for the fact that you've been able to do that. But I think a lot of people are attracted to you probably because of the way that you engage with your haters. They see you as someone who you either just ignore it altogether and just continue to go on and just focus on yourself and creating your own success. Or if you do respond to your haters, the way that you respond is very justified and you make your case, it's like, oh, you have a problem with me for this reason. Well, this is exactly why I did it, and this is exactly why I should have done it. So that's that. And people feel like with the Ace of Swords and the Justice, other people who observe your interactions with your haters are just like, oh yeah, Pile 4 really clapped back and they were correct. What they said was exactly, completely justified. It was the perfect response. You hold your own for sure. I feel like you're someone who definitely holds your own against other people when they are hating. I feel that it does cause you anxiety. You don't like to be put in that position. So I feel like for the most part, you try to avoid it, avoid having to defend yourself. But when you do have to defend yourself, you do so very well. And then I think that you recover. It bothers you, but then you recover from it. Because I feel like people, I'm trying to figure out why this is reversed. I feel like people don't want you to feel confident. They don't like, the haters, the people you have are haters. I know this was not a reading about haters, but this is just coming up. Because other people admire the way you react to your haters. Your haters don't want you to feel confident. Your haters don't want you to believe in your ability to create success and abundance for yourself. And there will be people who knock you down off the ladder as you're trying to climb up it. And, but you respond in a very justified way. You stand up for yourself in a very dignified way. I feel like that's a good word for it. An extremely dignified way. And I think people who observe this, they can tell that it definitely causes you anxiety. But then you recover with the Six of Swords. You don't let it get you down forever. I mean, it definitely bothers you, but it's not going to keep you from continuing along on your beautiful journey, because this is your life, right? Okay. Other things that people would find attractive about Pile 4 that Pile 4 might be surprised by. So you might be surprised to find that people find you, people like being your friend. People like being your friend, again, because they see you as loyal. Yeah, I feel like people do want to be friends with you. They find you to be an attractive person to be friends with. People see you as someone who is going places, and you're only going to take certain people with you on that journey. I feel like people want to be with you on that journey that they see that you're embarking upon. And I think that people, this is a little bit similar to pile number 3, but like people do feel really special when you do allow them into your inner sanctum. Also because you're very incredibly empathic, and you're really there for other people. You have a very healing presence. There's something about you that's incredibly healing. And so you might attract a lot of people who need healing because of that. Because I feel like it doesn't bother you. You're like, yeah, I mean, you're like, yeah, you need healing. I'm empathetic to that. I understand pain. I understand what that means. But you also are someone who's trying to create something, something very special for yourself. You're carving out an empire for yourself, like in some way, you're carving out some sort of substantial place for yourself in the world. You want to be on the top of the mountain in some sense. People see that. I'm trying to connect the dots here. It's like people want to go with you on this journey because they know that you are meant to have this sort of emperor status, meaning like someone who has a lot of power in the world, but you're wielding it again with that compassion, that kindness and compassion. People see that. They want to be going along with you on that journey. They're attracted to you both because you are very kind and empathetic, but also like have these sort of like leadership qualities at the same time. And people see that there's some sort of amazing opportunity that is opening up, or that you're opening up for yourself because you're bold and courageous, and because you're taking action and doing what you're passionate about. People are very inspired. So yeah, people want to be in your life in some way because they want to go along for your ride, but also you're inspiring people to go along for their own ride, to be themselves someone who's bold and courageous, and goes after what they're passionate about so that they can also have this wonderful journey for themselves. But it's like also I feel like people are attracted to the idea of doing both. They want to take their journey, but there are people who are like, I hope that I'm included in Pal 4's journey as well. Like when they get to the end of the road and become this emperor, I hope that I'm still welcome in their life because they know you don't take any BS, with this Queen of Swords. Like look at all this swords energy here. Where you're definitely not afraid to cut people out of your personal journey if need be. So people are like, I hope I'm there. And when they get to the end of this journey, I hope that I'm still with them. Let's see what else here. Yeah, I would say that people see you as someone who has a lot of purity, a lot of redemptive qualities. You do have some sort of special connection with the divine, or I would say integrity with all of this. Queen of Swords, Emperor, there's a lot of integrity here. And that was even, on this beauty card, the word integrity came up as well. I'm getting tact as well. You're a very tactful person. You could also kind of say things in a way where you're definitely getting your point across when you don't like something, but you can say it tactfully. You're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings, but you're also not accepting the BS, Loyalty keeps coming up here as well. People feel that you're very loyal to your ideals. You're loyal to people who you also see as innocent and pure. Maybe also just loyal to your spiritual connection, to your spiritual values. I keep getting stuff about global. So I would say you're definitely connected to different cultures or nationalities in some way, or have knowledge of that. And people see that and admire that. I feel like people see you as someone who wants everyone to be having the good life. Let's get one more card here. Which one is it? This one. Oh, mother. You have a very motherly quality. I mean, this is like going back to that very first card. It's like it's very reminiscent. You're just extremely nurturing. You're someone who exudes patience, unconditional love. you know, you'll put up with a lot, but like when it gets to a certain point, you'll cut people off, right? And, yeah, it's like I feel like people see you as, I would say that you're probably someone who has a lot of goddess Isis energy. If you like to work with the goddesses in particular, or any of the mother goddesses, you know, Isis is kind of like, you know, she shows up in so many different cultures, goddess Isis, and she is a mother goddess. So it is that sort of energy. And, yeah, and with child divine, I would think that like you care, I would say you care a lot about the well-being of children, or for some of you it could be animals, but like, or both, but you care about the well-being of those who are innocent and vulnerable. Anyone who has a vulnerability, you care about making sure that people are taken care of and safeguarded. All right, so let's get a fortune cookie. If you're listening on headphones, this could be a little bit loud when I open it. Okay, listen to everyone. Ideas come from everywhere. So again, going back to all of the globes that we keep seeing throughout. Here are two of them. Globe. Yeah, I mean, ideas come from everywhere. I feel like you're someone who's very open to different types of thoughts or different perspectives. And you try to take into account different ways of viewing things, although it does feel to me that in the end you are very decisive about your own viewpoint, but you're also extremely open-minded, I would say. And here are some numbers that might have some significance to you. All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed this reading. I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye.